Alright guys, we get to check out the Avant Deco Diver in the Fume Sky Blue dial, which would be my personal pick. The other one, the Fume Black dial one, is really cool looking too. However, I'm looking on Nomen watches right now, and I believe they're sold out. There is another one on there. I'll show you in a minute. It says there's 50 pieces, and I think there's still some of those left, and there's still some of these blue ones left, but I'm not even really sure how many they made of the other ones, because the one does say 50 pieces, but doesn't say that on the blue or the other one, which is sold out, but the blue one it says is in stock, and I'll put a link in the description. But my good friend Homer, you guys, if you're regulars on some of the forums, you guys probably know Homer, but he sent this in for Bruce and I to check out, and as soon as it arrived, as soon as I opened it up out of the box, I knew that Homer was thinking about getting rid of it, and I instantly contacted him. I said, I'm buying this watch off you. No problem, I'm buying it. Because I'm not a big fan of vintage watches, and this has a lot of inspiration from the vintage. With all the angles and the hands and just the font of everything, and especially that domed, that bezel insert is like a domed ceramic, but it looks a lot like Bakelite or whatever. It has a very vintage appeal to it. Everything about this watch, the finishing, the design, I will touch on, and I don't normally do this, I will touch on maybe two negative things that I can think of, and I'll share those with you. But you can see it has a nice signed crown. It's 300 meter. The ceramic bezel insert, the sapphire crystal with the anti-reflective coating on the bottom side is applied really nicely. That blue radiant dial is just amazing. Very well done. I like the 369. I do like to have some numbers on my dial, so that's done really well. And then it has the applied indices. It has some really cool hands, some really good lume. I'll put like I said, I'll put the link in there. I'm not going to go over all of the specs on it. It does have well, we'll look at it here in a minute, but we'll cover a couple of things, I guess. But it does come with, I didn't change the strap, but it comes with this really nice German-made leather strap, and it is like perfection when it comes to leather straps. It feels so nice. Has a nice matching hardware, a floating keeper, and then a stitched-in one. Measurements, this is 41 millimeter. I really like the crown position too. Most of us Seiko fans do, but I get 49.8 millimeter lug to lug. It does not have drilled lugs. No big deal to me. I use really good spring bar tool. I just packed it away, but you guys know which one I use. It's only 12.5 millimeter thick, 22 millimeter lug width, and Nomen Watches has this for $499. For me, that's a killer value when it comes to the execution of this watch and the sizing and what you get. It has a really nice bezel action. There's no play. It settles back, but there's no play really to speak of. Very nice sound to it. Very positive. Stiff enough, but not too stiff that you can't operate it. If you look closely too on the face part of the case, it's radial brushed, and then you have the polished on the top there, and then the chamfer, and then you have the brushing going up and down there. Very simple, nice case back. It's very smooth on the back of the wrist. All right, so let me touch on, real quick in the middle of the video here, I'll touch on a couple of negatives. One, they didn't remove the date position on the crown, but it does hack and hand wind. It would have been nice for them to use the movement or somehow eliminate the position for the date setting. And again, the other thing I really prefer with most watches is a bracelet. It's not a huge deal on this one because I think it feels great on the leather. Sorry for moving around so fast, guys. I'm all jacked up still. I've been packing up and everything, getting ready for the move, but I'm trying to show some detail here. I know some guys complain about me moving around too much, but you can see the fit and finish and everything is really good. It's really tight. You could throw this on a mesh, strap would be nice. I'm not sure what other bracelets would maybe work good on this. I personally like mesh. It works really good for me. And then this leather, or you could do a nice silicone strap. Here's the box it comes in. It's not overly simple, but it's not overly complex. It just has magnets and simple hinges. It does come with this other strap, which I did not try. You do have to transfer the hardware, but it has a nice suede finish to it. It's again made in Germany, so I'm guessing it's going to be equally as nice. And this one is from Nomon. I didn't even look at this stuff here. Let me take a quick look. Blah, blah, blah. So here you go. Here's the details on the movement. Watch is fitted with the ETA 2824. It just gives you the... See, it even says on there for the date, but it doesn't have a date on it, so... Unless I miss something, unless it's a stealth date, some new technology. I am a fan of the date on a watch, but I don't know. I threw this one on and I didn't really care, I guess, that it wasn't on there. Maybe it's because I'm losing track of time anyway, so I'll give you a wrist shot. There it is on my 7 1/8 inch wrist. It wears super nice. And I love that blue. In natural light, even low light, you can see how it's like super like bright in the center and then just burst out. Amazing. I can't stop looking at it. So real quick, I'll show you. Oh, you guys love it when I move you around and stuff. And I'll put a link in the description, but you can see there's the in stock. There's the blue filament dial. It says in stock. You can see all the other ones here. So I don't know a ton about this brand, but there's some really good, if you go to either there's, I'll put a link to Avant's site and to Nomon, but the price is $4.99 on Nomon, and it's a little bit more on Avant, so I'm not really sure what that's about, some sort of partnership, but it goes into some details and everything and gives you all the specs and stuff. Very cool, very cool. Big thanks to Homer for lending this. But I do want to touch on something that's pretty cool. It does have some nice lume as well. I think it's very well done. That looks so cool. I don't know if it's just the way the lume works with the, the way the bezel is done on this, the like domed. What do you call it? Bezel insert there, how it's like bubbled. It has like a weird effect to me anyway. I don't know if you guys can tell, because it gives it a little bit of shine on the bevels, and then the way it's loomed is just cool. It's like it's deeper inside. But anyway, I'm a little wore out. So I'm going to see, look at that. Even in low light, I mean, there's almost no light in this room, and I can still see blue. I was driving actually the other day, and I noticed the reflection from the sunlight off the dial on this. Sometimes the reflection off your watch crystal will reflect, just like a bright white light at something. This thing reflects blue. That's how crazy blue the dial is. It actually, the round reflection I had on the ceiling of my car was blue. I love this blue. I can't get enough of this watch. Thanks, Homer, for sending this in. I am going to send this over to Bruce, so hopefully he can check it out too. I'll see you guys on the next vid. I'm not sure when that's going to be, though.